Regis Prograis files a lawsuit against the World Boxing Super Series, which was being broadcast in the States by the Dazn app. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing if you want to become part of the gang. Notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Now, this is from Chris Mannix. He's a reporter with Sports Illustrated. He also works with Dazn. So I feel like if anyone would kind of have some intel on it, and it'd be accurate information, it'll probably be someone who works for Dazn. And bad news for Dazn. The Dazn curse continues. And Chris Mannix reported Regis Prograis has filed a lawsuit against the World Boxing Super Series, seeking to be declared free of any further obligations, according to a complaint that was filed in New Jersey District Court. A copy of the complaint was obtained by Sports Illustrated. Now, not a good look, right? Says the lawsuit filed specifically against Camosa, the company running the World Boxing Super Series, alleges a series of violations of agreements between Prograis and the World Boxing Super Series, including a failure to make an agreed upon escrow remittance by August 3rd, effectively proved that the money was there, right? Then says Regis Prograis, who is promoted by Lou DiBella, would be sought after free agent, 140-pound champion. Top Rank could offer a lucrative unification against Jose Ramirez, who just beat Maurice Hooker. Eddie Hearn and Dazn would also be in hot pursuit. I hope Regis Prograis, I really like him, so I hope he gets his situation ironed out. But another fail and L for Dazn, because Regis Prograis, undefeated, very good fighter. Shout out to Rougarou. He just called out Adrian Broner. That's a potential big fight at 140. Broner said he's done fighting the bigger guys at 47 and whatnot. He said he wants to fight at 140, and he also said he'll fuck up Regis Prograis or something and Jose Ramirez. He said they not fucking with me, etc. So that would be a good fight. Jose Ramirez just knocked out Hooker, so that was a unification that helped shape the division, and that would be another excellent fight. So Regis Prograis, based on if he is able to get out, look, he's with Birdman. What happened to that boy? If he's able to get out of this contract or this obligation, further obligations with the World Boxing Super Series, then that makes him a desired pick and pick up. PBC has 140-pound fighters, Mario Barrios and different people. So he has a lot of options, a lot of different options. He also has director Peter Berg and Mark Wahlberg and Lil Wayne, who all helped to manage his career. So he has a lot of influential people that could lead him in the right direction. For Dazn picked up season 2 of the World Boxing Super Series, and season 2 has been a nightmare. It's been a struggle fest to figure out when some of these fights are going to be made. People like Ivan Baranchenko and Nonito Donaire threatened to pull out because they weren't getting a date. They weren't being paid. There were communication issues. They just announced Nonito Donaire versus his opponent, Inouye, which is a great fight for, I guess, the division, a veteran versus the up-and-coming hot guy. That just got announced, but Donaire was upset because he hadn't been instructed as to when he would be fighting, Donaire specifically, some people questioned how he made it to the finals. It wasn't his fault, but he fought Ryan Burnett, he picked up a nasty injury in a somewhat competitive fight, and he was unable to continue. So Donaire advanced. And then Donaire was supposed to fight Zolani Tete, who trains out of the Mayweather gym, if I'm not mistaken. And he, the week of the fight, pulled out of the fight, said he was injured. So they brought in a one-day replacement, Stephen Young, and Donaire knocked him out. So for that reason, even though it's not Nonito Donaire's fault, it just lessened it, because we want to see, like, if you watch any of the Voice, American Idol, you want to see the people who naturally make it to the finals and in, they do it under traditional terms. Again, it's not Donaire's fault what happened. However, it would have been nice to see more traditional endings to those fights, because he's about to fight a live dog, and a lot of people projected it would have been Zolani Tete versus Inui, which, you know, would probably be a great fight, but it didn't happen like that. Then also you look at the fight with Maris Bradis, referee kind of ruined it. It was on the same card with Andrew Tabiti when he got knocked out by Yordenis, or what's his name, Dorticos. And then the main event with Maris Bradis, it ended really weird with bad calls and fighting beyond the bell. And the WBC the night before had pulled out of the fight and said, we're not sanctioning this because we don't like the way this has been run. So if Regis Prograis pulls out of this, he's one of the main people, at least for me, I want to see. Him and Josh Taylor, that's a great fight. So if it doesn't happen, it's just going to be a shame for boxing fans. And this is all happening on DAZN's watch. They're the ones that picked up this tourney, and you know, it just hasn't been going smoothly at all. You know, again, especially if Regis Prograis is successful with this lawsuit, or, you know, legal matters take time. This legal matter could stall it out so we don't see the Josh Taylor fight. And then meanwhile, Regis Prograis, he's going to go on about his business and then get picked up by PBC, ESPN, or whoever and put on fights. So this is the DAZN curse continues, man, because this is what they're trying to fill out their schedule for 2019, and it's been blunderous. They just announced the fight with Andy Ruiz Jr. and Joshua, the rematch. As you guys see, it's trending, and the fight's happening in Saudi Arabia. So again, this is the venue they put it in. They said holds 7,000 people. Eddie Hearn was making fun of Deontay Wilder, saying he only sold 6,000 tickets, but then Eddie Hearn gets offered this amount of money from Saudi Arabian tycoons or whatever, or business people, and they're putting it in a venue of 7,000. That's not really ideal for, you got a Mexican-American heavyweight champion, a UK fighter, and you're putting the fight in Saudi Arabia. Talking about neutral ground. So that's another L for DAZN, just based on it's not coming on at a practical time in the US, most likely. Plus they have to compete with the NCAA SEC championship game, which will be on around that same time. And if this comes on at some weird time in America, then it doesn't really benefit DAZN in terms of getting subscribers. Some people are still at work or whatever. The prime time, we know the prime time hours in the US where this fight could have been big, but they're putting in Saudi Arabia. So DAZN's going to have to figure out all of these little nuanced things because it hasn't been looking good. On top of that, we can go deeper. They've had a lot of fights that got canceled. You know, Demetrius Andrade, Billy Joe Saunders fight was anticipated, canceled. Gerald Miller versus AJ, canceled. Failed drug tests in both of those situations. Usyk was supposed to make a heavyweight debut against Carlos Takam, canceled or postponed. Murat Gassiev was supposed to fight Joey DeVecco on the Hooker Ramirez, canceled. Injuries. You know, they just had these strings of bad things. Canelo's angry at Golden Boy, they said. Canelo got stripped of 2 belts. Canelo is, you know, wasn't on speaking terms. It's just, this is a lot of bad, negative things in a short period of time for a company that said this is the American takeover and pay-per-view is dead. You know, the World Boxing Super Series has been blunderous this year. I don't know why. I don't know what's good, but they picked it up. So this is under their watch also, because the organizers have, I heard people haven't been getting paid and all types of stuff, you know. So this is not a good look, because you're tied into it now, and this is part of which is supposed to fill out your calendar. I was really looking forward to Regis Prograis versus Josh Taylor, so now it may not happen. If there's a lawsuit, I don't know that it will or can happen, and it sounds like it's already done. The paperwork's already been filed, so you know, we have to see how it plays out, but definitely not a good look. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. We working. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.